Breaking news later in the show. We have not told I'm transfixed with Joy Taylor today. She looks so summery.
Oh, thank you.
You look so stunning. Can I say that, or is that...
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. You're so summery.
Thank you.
I'm breaking news later today. I don't protest stuff. I'm not a picket sign guy.
Okay.
And I also, if I get bad service at a restaurant, I don't yell and scream at help. I've been a busboy before. It's not my fault if your meal stinks. I'm not.
I mean, on Yelp. On Yelp.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I'm not going to rip a business on Yelp. I just don't think it's fair.
No, I have stuff to do today, so I just won't go back.
There you go. So I'm going to break news later in the show. I made a life-changing decision yesterday based on an experience I had.
Uh-oh.
We're going to put the breaking news bar.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just had a moment, and I'm going to get to it, and it's a thing.
Well, you know what? It's important to always evolve, so.
And I evolved right out of this business.
Okay. All right.
I will say this. David Njoku is a tight end for the Cleveland Browns. He's unbelievable. He's probably the best young tight end in football. He's a great player. But he was talking about Odell Beckham this weekend, and David's going to have a great year and a great career. He's like the kid at Kansas City, Travis Kelce. He's just better. He's just better than all the young guys out there. And he talked about Odell Beckham, and he said, that guy's is phenomenal fit with Cleveland. It's phenomenal. It's like the fourth guy on that team that has been quoted saying, Odell Beckham's going to be a phenomenal fit. It's July. Everybody fits in July. The Cleveland organization and the Cleveland players have become a teenage girl on Instagram. They keep projecting how great it's going to be. The truth is, Cleveland's the easiest team in the league to figure out this year. There's two facts about Cleveland. They're the youngest roster in the NFL. They are. Super talented, they are, and a new head coach. They're going to be like Jacksonville. They're going to be young and dynamic and intimidate people and blow some people out. And then, like a young team, they're going to talk a lot, and they're going to play through injuries, and they don't have an elite coach, and they have a young quarterback who's prone to mistakes but also very talented. And here's what's going to happen to them. They're going to struggle early because their schedule with a new system is brutal. My guess is they could lose the home opener with Tennessee, at Jets, Rams, at Ravens, at Niners, Seahawks, at Patriots, at Denver. They're going to struggle a little bit in the first 2 months. Let's say 4-4. Then they're going to get red hot, and they may win 7 straight games. It's a bunch of Buffaloes, Miamis, Cincinnatis, Arizonas, Cincinnati again. They'll split with Pittsburgh. They're going to get smoking hot. And then the playoffs come, and young teams do not win the AFC. They don't. Peyton Manning did. Tom Brady did. They don't win the AFC, and they're going to crash hard. And what's interesting about the whole Odell Beckham situation is very predictable. Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield are on different watches. Baker Mayfield's got 15 years to play. Odell Beckham's 5 years in. He wants to be a global star. He's already been hurt, and receivers have the second shortest NFL careers, and he's small. He's small and at times a little spindly. Okay, he wants to win, get numbers, and be a superstar for the next 3 years. He didn't buy a house in Cleveland. He is there to win and get big numbers. He wants to be a global superstar. And unlike all the other young Browns players who play tight end and will last 12 years, quarterback lasts 15, pass rusher lasts 11, dude's got about 4 years left to hit it. And when this team is 3-5 or 4-4 and he's not getting the looks and he's getting doubled, is he the calming, soothing voice that a young locker room needs? Because on his good days, he's dramatic. So I think Cleveland, there's a lot of projecting here. Oh, Dell's great. He's phenomenal. Could be amazing. Everybody's good in July. I think Cleveland's incredibly predictable. A lot of energy, a lot of talent, youngest roster, implementing a new offense, struggle a little early, some losses you think are wins like the opener hosting Tennessee, then smoking hot. Starting somewhere in early November, November 3 to November 10, you're going to reel off about 7 wins in 8 weeks, and you're going to be the talk of the league, and Odell's going to be making catches, and then you're going to crash hard in the playoffs, if you get there. Wild card team, if you get there. Go on the road, like in New England, at Kansas City, at Indianapolis, and crash hard. But it's going to be funny because this whole Odell Beckham thing, his watch isn't set to the same time as everybody else's watch. All these young players on this team, they have 10-year careers coming up. Njoku, Baker Mayfield, Myles Garrett, these guys are going to play for 10 years. OBJ, been hurt, 5 in, no time to waste. He's got about 4 to make this puppy work. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
So there's only 3 players in NBA history with the career PER, that's player efficiency rating, above 27. And the Lakers have 2 of those 3 players on their roster right now, in LeBron and Anthony Davis. So in an interview with CBS Sports' Jim Hill, AD said that neither he nor LeBron have played with a player this high caliber before. He said, I think I'm a very special player. I feel like I can do it all. Shoot a 3. I can shoot the mid-range, I take pride in defense, I talk on defense, and I can lead. I haven't played with a player like LeBron, and LeBron hasn't played with a player like me before.
That's true.
Well, I'm not going to take that as a slight at Dwayne Wade, because he is a very different player.
Right.
But Magic also thinks that AD is going to elevate LeBron's game a lot, too, because he tweeted, I think King James will be the league's MVP next season.
I don't think that's crazy. I think he'll have a great year.
I think he's going to have a great year. I don't think it's crazy, but I do think it's kind of interesting if they are going to be in that space that the Warriors have been in for the past couple years, that even though they are having amazing seasons, do they kind of cannibalize each other in the MVP race? The last time he was the MVP was in the 2012-2013 year with the Heat. They were 66-16, and in 76 games, he averaged 27 points, 8 boards, 7 assists in 38 minutes. So pretty decent year. He's been MVP 4 times. It just kind of seems like everyone got a little bit of a fatigue with it in general. But when you look at the league, though, who does stick out as someone who would be the obvious MVP front runner? Like, usually when we look at the way the teams are assembled, we can say, okay, if this team has a great year, this guy would be a likely MVP candidate.
The NBA MVP has often almost been a little bit of a I would say a sentimental vote.
It's become a little bit of that, yeah.
Right. Anthony Davis, he finally gets to play with a good player. I think most people will root for Anthony Davis to have a great year. Like, he can't be moved out. So, yeah, I'm actually excited. I'd be the first one. I'm a sportscaster. I have not watched a ton of Anthony Davis beyond All-Star games and NBA TV highlights. I
think you're right. Like, I think a lot of people haven't, and that's part of the reason why I'm a little hesitant about Anthony Davis. Not that he's not an incredible player, that he's the top 10 player in the league, but this is all new territory for both LeBron and Anthony Davis. Yep. And, the rest of the team adjusting to it as well. So the question on everyone's minds is how James Harden and Russell Westbrook will fit together. Harden obviously needs some help, but maybe in the form of Westbrook to finally get over the hump and make it back to the NBA Finals. Well, one rival executive chimed in and told Bleacher Report the problem is they both need the ball in their hands, so it's the same problem they had before. But to me, Russ is an upgrade over Chris. You have a triple-double guy who's younger and who can rebound better. The only difference is Chris shoots the 3-ball better.
Well, he is in his prime. And Chris's contract now, if Chris was healthy, I wouldn't think Chris's contract's terrible. I would just think it's expensive. Westbrook's contract is expensive. I don't think it's a terrible contract.
I don't even think that the contracts matter so much anymore because they are putting other pieces around them anyway. So, and they have a lot of X-factor pieces there anyway in Houston. It always felt like Houston was chasing Golden State, and they couldn't get past that hump. Now, Golden State isn't the ones that they're chasing anymore, obviously, because the entire NBA landscape has changed.
Right.
But this exec does make a point. Westbrook is an incredible rebounder. I know a lot of people think that the whole team clears out and lets Westbrook rebound, but he does have that kind of motor to rebound that Chris Paul doesn't. He is younger. He is in better shape. He doesn't have the injury fear, at least not to me, that Chris Paul has, especially late in the season. The shooting thing will be interesting, though. But I mean, to me, Westbrook was never a traditional point guard anyway. So this adjustment is, in my mind, going to be more natural than people think. They just have to assign roles to the rest of the team. The two of them are aware of what their games are. It's not like they're completely oblivious to how they play basketball. They know they're both high usage, high motor players. So if they're going to play together, they both have to adjust.
The problem is with a shot clock, Harden's going to have the ball a ton, and Westbrook's going to end up having to be a viewer instead of an initiator, which I think is hard. I would think it would work if Westbrook was a pure shooter. He's got a Derrick Rose thing where, and a John Wall thing, the ball doesn't come off his hands naturally. Your shot is what your shot is. Listen, Chris Paul's contract, when the Lakers got Mozgov off the books because the Nets took it for, I was just like, I remember the day I was driving in, I'm like, how did they get out of that contract? The fact that Sam Presti took the Chris Paul contract, if I'm Daryl Morey this morning, I can live with Westbrook. I'll figure the Westbrook thing out.
One thing we learned is no contract is impossible to get out.
But I'll tell you, Chris Paul's is not easy. It's not impossible, but John Wall and Chris Paul's, those are hard contracts.
They figured it out. A lot of pieces. And finally, Lonzo says he is ready for a fresh start in New Orleans. The news of his trade apparently happened in a car ride to his brother LaMelo's Drew League game. And Lonzo told ESPN, I was kind of excited, honestly. I kind of figured someone was going to get moved soon enough. Anytime you can get a guy like Anthony Davis, you're going to have to do what you have to do to get him. So I was kind of already just waiting for it, honestly. And I was happy to go with two guys I'm comfortable with, and B.I. and Jay Hart. I'm excited to see what we can do. That's a good perspective. He also kind of basically said, like, if this had happened earlier in his career, he might have been more hurt because, he's from L.A. and his whole family is here. And now he understands the business of the NBA a bit more, so it didn't bother him as much. I also think it probably eased the pain of the trade, knowing that you're going to play with Zion and you have a completely new front office that has all of their stuff together. And there's a renewed excitement about the team in New Orleans.
Actually, you know what I honestly feel? I feel like actually the Pelicans are all in on Lonzo. I never quite felt like, isn't it weird? I never felt everybody was in. In fact, somebody who I trust said the Laker front office was split on Lonzo. A lot of guys wanted De'Aaron Fox, but they felt Lonzo was, Lonzo Ball, Lakers, Los Angeles.
Well, a lot of it, and it's an entertainment business. So